Welcome to another Indie Dev Showcase, highlighting the many indie games we play here on the channel. If you'd like to submit a game for a future video, please reach out. But otherwise, let's begin. We are starting things off this week with The Fall of Aether Station. This is a tower defense roguelite, where you'll be fighting against waves of enemies on different maps. The further you get, the more resources you earn. The more resources you earn, the more you can upgrade and unlock new ships, as well as different weapons and weapon types that you can equip onto them. Your ships are essentially your towers, and the game kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Gemcraft style, where you're not so much trying to make multiple stage progression at the start, but you're trying to get as far as you can within each wave in order to get as many resources to power yourself up, to then go further, to get more resources, and you get the picture. Now, this does mean that the start of this game is on the slower side. You just cannot do much when you first begin because you don't have enough ships, and you have enough weapons and upgrades to deal with these enemies. But if you stick with it, this is a fairly entertaining take on the tower defense style, and there's definitely enough roguelite progression to keep you coming back for more. And now we go to Mika and the Witch's Mountain. This is a cozy kind of, delivery 3D platformer or flyer, depending on how you look at it. You play as Mika, who is trying to get back to the top of a mountain to earn her apprenticeship with a witch. But to do that, we're going to have to deliver lots of goods, go around, and have a very lighthearted and whimsical adventure. So our main kind of design here is going to be going throughout the town, collecting the various MacGuffins, and trying to deliver your goods. You have to be careful not to slam into things, of course. As the game goes on, you'll unlock additional brooms and other features that will increase your speed and let you get further up. If you're looking for like hardcore flying sim, this is definitely not going to be that game. And it's clearly designed as more on the, again, cozy, wholesome side, rather than having challenging elements to it. So it can be a little bit repetitive in that respect. Once you've delivered one package to and fro, you've kind of delivered packages to and fro to everyone. But still a very delightful game. I love the look of it. So if you're in the mood for some transporting and not exactly going for the Death Stranding Ultra Sim style, I would give this one a try. We now go to something a little bit more hardcore with Nova Drift. This has been in development for a very long time. It was finally released out of early access in 2024. This is an asteroid-style roguelike, where you'll be flying around on a single screen blasting away at enemy ships. What the game does really well is it kind of captures that over-the-top power-up nature that we see from the genre, especially from like the bullet heavens that came out, well, before/after this one. Every time you level up, you'll be able to choose from different upgrades. The upgrades themselves will radically change how your ship moves, behaves, shoots, and so on. There are special combinations you can get, and you'll have to figure out what kind of build you want for the current run. Do you go for super fast firing shots, slow moving sniper blasts, allied ships, and many, many more? While the base game, if you're familiar with this style, can be on the easier side to play, there are multiple difficulty settings. There are progressive difficulty / ascension modes, additional challenges, unlocks, and all that great stuff. Now, with this still kind of locked to the arcade style, does make it feel a little bit limited. If you're someone who likes the likes of something like an Enter the Gungeon, a Hades, where there's a lot of progression, a lot of changes from run to run, this is not that game. But it plays very nicely. It has more of a rapid fire or pick up and play feel to it. You're not going to be getting like 40 minutes to an hour plus per run. So you'll be able to keep playing, chasing your score and your friends, and just seeing how many bullets you can fill up on the screen. So I would definitely recommend this one for the arcade fan who's looking for a little bit more roguelike-ness with their shooting. And now we go to a roguelite with He Is Coming. This is an auto-battler RPG roguelite for a lot of ours. As the title implies, he is coming. The Demon Lord is going to be invading, and you must train and power yourself up in order to best him. Now, as an auto-battler, your primary way of progression is going to be choosing which gear to equip onto your Brave Knight. There's of course a variety of shields, weapons, helms, and so on that you'll be able to define a build. And it kind of reminds me in a little bit of a way of like a loop hero, in that you're just kind of going around to power yourself up and hopefully reaching that kind of breakpoint that you can then use in order to beat the boss. As the auto-battler goes, you'll need to figure out which gear will work best for creating some kind of a build. You could go for heavy damage, heavy armor, being so fast that you just immediately kill the enemy, and so on. Now this does look like it's going to be on the more challenging side, as we see from a lot of these kinds of auto-battlers, where you're going to win until you don't. Now there are unlocks in terms of acquiring additional gear and so on, which we did not get to see from this demo. Still a very charming game, so if you're not tired of auto-battlers just yet, I would give this one a try. And now we go to Din's Champion. This is the latest from Soldak Entertainment, who have made some very detailed ARPGs over the years. And now they're going to the kind of sideways Terraria style for a massive game. Now, the footage you're seeing is taken from early access and may not represent the current version of it. But if you are unfamiliar, these games take place in dynamic worlds where quests will kind of complete or fail based on your input, which will impact the world. There is usually a kind of world goal you're trying to achieve in order to then redesign or set up a new seed and take your character there. There's going to be loads of progression. You can now build structures. And this one looks like it's going to be on the more advanced side. Now, the onboarding is a bit rough, or was a bit rough when we tried this one out. I don't know if things have improved. But Soldak's games tend to be very much either love it or hate it affairs. If you are a fan of their previous works, then this is definitely going to be one you want to check out. But if you are new, this one does come with a bit of a learning curve. But if you can get past it, you'll find a game with a whole lot of content to enjoy. And for the last game of our showcase this week, we go to Gundroid. This is a run and gun, where you play, well, a droid with a gun who's trying to defend Earth from alien invaders, and we are going to have to run from left to right, up and down, and shoot a whole lot of them in order to save the planet. If you are familiar at all with the likes of Contra or last year's Iron Meat, then you should have a pretty good idea of what we're going to be doing here. You'll be fighting your way through screens filled with enemies, bullet patterns, and more, while picking up different gun types and trying not to lose any of your precious lives. Now, from the demo, I didn't see anything that is different or unique from a run-and-gun. The music is very solid. There's a variety of course, stages and bosses to fight. And this one looks like it's just going to be a very solid take on the run-and-gun formula. So if you are a fan of running and gunning, I would give this one a try. And I'm curious to see how things will develop in the finished game. And with that, we are done with another showcase. You'll find links to all the titles down below. If you want me to take a look at your game for a future stream and showcase, please get in touch. And with that, I'll see everyone for our next indie night, and for many more videos to come.